Hi, parents. It's me, Miss Spears, and I just wanted to make a quick video for you guys just to show you how you can find some resources at home, things that will help you to be able to review material or see material that your students are using in class. So, first up, we're going to look at On-Course Classroom. So, students use this to be able to take assessments. They can also access resources there. And of course, you're already aware that you can use it to check on their work as well. So if you log in as the student and then you click on their class, so for me, ELA or social studies, at the top, you'll see it says assignments, resources, messages. Well, there are resources that are in On-Course Classroom. They match the resources that are in Google Classroom as well. So you'll find, for example, like a weekly folder with information in there. You see here on your screen, like this is just a look at ELA. So we're currently in week 6, and students got their vocabulary words on Monday. Here I've posted our weekly agenda that went home with students and their vocabulary review game. So remember, they take their ELA vocabulary test every other Friday. So they just had one this past Friday. Here's a review game that they can play at home to be able to prepare for their vocabulary test, which will be next Friday. There's some other things in there for you. I didn't have enough room to put everything on the screen, but if you scroll down, you'll see like there's, once you log in, if you scroll down, you should see the unit materials. So we're finishing up unit 1 in ELA. You'll find the student reader there. And then some other things, just another thing for you to note is we're not able to drag and drop and like order things inside of On-Course Classroom. It lands wherever it lands. So ideally, I would like it to be where all the weeks are in order to make it easier for you and for me and for the students, but we don't have control over that. So the reason why Miss Owens and I are using On-Course Classroom, because you'll find math and science resources in there as well, is because starting next school year, so when your students are in 4th grade, Google Classroom is going away. This way, they can already be comfortable and hit the ground running with On-Course Classroom once they are in 4th grade. And you can also be used to it as their parent. So here is a look at social studies, and you'll see the materials. You'll see, like, for example, you see like the student reader, and just the dates to the side are just when it was uploaded. So we're still in unit 1. We'll finish unit 1 next week for social studies. And students were told today that they'll have their end of unit test next Thursday and Friday. So it's a 2-part test. It's the entire unit that they're testing over. So that would be like, if you look at their student reader, those 3 chapters, that's what they're testing over. And then you have these other 2 links, which are really my bad. The one that's marked September 4th is the same thing as what's marked September 10th. And I just forgot that I'd already uploaded it. So the student workbook answer key. So their student workbook, not the one that has the green cover, which we're not going to complete for this unit, but the one that's in front of it, that what students have already started writing in. If they don't finish writing or they're absent, then go here. And they know this as well. It's in Google Classroom under Social Studies materials. It's in On-Course Classroom. They can click on it, and then what's written in red is what they need to write in their workbook. So, and that workbook is great for you to be able to review material with them. I told them to go home today, let you all know that, hey, mom, dad, or the adult in their house, to know that I would like to have 15, 20 minutes every day to just be able to review over my social studies. Just take some time to go through those pages, those workbook pages, and I update them as we do them. So you'll see that there are blank pages in there that don't have the answers. That's because we haven't covered that yet in class. Once we cover it, then students write it and copy it in class. If they don't finish it, then they know they can do that at home or when they have free time in class. So like I was out yesterday at a district 4-H meeting, and students, that was part of their work to do yesterday. And so a lot of students today, when they were done with their writing their rough draft in ELA, that's what they worked on. So here's just an example of kind of like what it looks like. Again, what's in red is what they need to copy, except for the task. The first, I think it's just 2 pages, has different task boxes, and that's the first thing that they write. They answer the question. So just so you wouldn't be confused, I put the question. It might be like, describe what caused Shay's rebellion. I put that question in there so you would just know what it is that they're supposed to know. And then it says in red, student response. And that's just because it should just be their answer. It's what we learned the day before in class. So that's what they should be. We start the next lesson with a review to see what they know, and then they put their answer in. So today, students worked on their rough draft. 2 weeks ago, they did their brainstorming for their culminating writing task. Last week, they worked on adding dialogue and making notes for the dialogue that they wanted in their story. This is their story. So they have a narrative writing that they get to do for a grade. Today, they had this paper. Most of the students chose to take it home. I gave everybody the option. If you didn't finish it, it wasn't an option. Like, you need to take it home and finish it, and it needs to come back in the morning, because tomorrow they're not writing, they're typing. So they can type. They'll have all of class time, which is 90 minutes, to be able to type up their final draft. The final draft is what's for a grade. You do see a rubric, a grading rubric here for the culminating writing task. I missed a row, and that's just for the dialogue. And what'll happen is, like, we'll do it for, let's say that's 3, 6, 9, 12, like it's 15 points, or however it's, going to end up for me and the other ELA teacher as well. And then we'll scale it to 100 points. So, and that's just per the new district grading policy guidelines. Since this is a major assessment, it has to be worth 100 points. Most students chose to take their rough drafts home, even if they were complete. Most finished in class, but there's a handful who did not. So just check with your student and see if they have it with them. And then even if they finished it, that way they can read it to you and get some extra feedback. They know, as I know that you know, not to do it for them. I told them, of course, your parents, if they say this is misspelled, you can do that, or maybe you should tweak this and change that. Those little things, that's totally fine, because this is not, the rough draft's not for a grade. It's the final draft that's for the grade. And you'll see that it should be on every student's paper that I've made some notes. I don't have the time to go through and correct every spelling error or grammatical error, and they know this. I explained that to them. So I made some notes that needed to be made for students. I talked to each student about their writing, all of those things. So it should be in their dog binder for them to bring to you tonight. Make sure, please, 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 make sure that they bring it back tomorrow. If for some reason they left it at home, I told both classes they're not calling you at work or calling you at home to come bring it for them. They need to, because I'm going to collect them before that 8:10 bell rings. And if during that time in the morning they somehow left it, then they need to take a sheet of paper. I'll give them a sheet of paper, and they need to rewrite it and have it ready for by the time that class starts at the first class will start at 8:55. So I just wanted to make sure that you were aware of those things, where you can check for extra resources, the social studies workbook, the student workbook, and then the rough draft that's coming home today. So if you have, for some of you, some decided to let me keep it. They didn't want to bring it home. So if you have any questions, please reach out and let me know. Just a heads up, my phone in my classroom stays on Do Not Disturb from outside calls. That way it's not ringing during class. But if you leave a message, I get it, and I will respond to you as quickly as possible. And of course, you can always email me. So this video went much longer than I thought it would, but I think it's all information that you need. I hope you have a wonderful evening. Bye-bye.